that have ranches, folks that have soil, folks that have grass to manage. There are a lot of resources that are provided through the Extension Service to help you manage your soils, your nutrients, how to grow hay, and the services are very, very reasonable. Soil samples are, what, $7 or $8, I think. And it'll help you learn how to manage your farms, whether they're small or large. So there's a tremendous amount of resources available. I'd take advantage of it, and Art's going to stay for the day, as is Audrey Norman, to answer some questions. Audrey, did you have anything else you wanted to add to that? Okay. Okay. Keeping along with the animal interest, Tiffany Snow is representing the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission, and few people realize that wildlife management can go hand in hand with equestrian. And in some of the other country, we've actually gotten better equestrian zoning because we've used it to support, like in Walnut Creek, California, support wildlife management. When we needed wildlife corridors, where the wildlife was going to go, horse trails. So having partnerships between wildlife and horse people is a natural because they serve the same needs of animals. And any of you that have been out riding Wellington trails, some of the highest wildlife counts are out on the horse trails. So Tiffany, you want to share what your agency does and what you do?
Hi guys, I'm going to get us back on track with timing at least. I'm very short, and you guys have met my friend out there. Out there is a limpkin. And they're going to put my PowerPoint on. It's very short. But I also have burrowing owl, black bear, and some other brochures over there on the back table if you guys want to grab any. But just so you know, FWC's mission is managing fish and wildlife resources for their long-term well-being and the benefit of people. Yep, that one, the FWC one. Yeah. You can skip that one. Yep, and I already said that. So that was our mission statement. And next one is FWC's purpose, which is managing, one of our purposes is managing resources. We manage Florida fish and wildlife populations and their habitats. We have a lot of different sections, everything from fisheries to habitat and species conservation and law enforcement, everything you can imagine. We ensure sustainable populations, we protect habitat, and we make science-based decisions on what we find. Sharing responsibility. We share responsibility for conservation management with an emphasis on developing conservation values in our youth. We create the next generation that cares, engage stakeholders and coordinate partnerships with other communities, provide conservation information, and increase conservation opportunities. We increase community involvement, continue commitment to benefit community and the economy, provide safety and emergency response support. We do have our law enforcement that's here 24/7 if you ever need them. They're not the same thing as the sheriff's office, but if you guys ever have wildlife emergencies, they are here to answer your beck and call. We promote understanding of social and economic benefits as well. So managing our organization. We manage an effective and responsive organization. We provide excellent service. My job with the agency is handling nuisance wildlife, so human wildlife conflicts for the 10 regions in South Florida. So Diane and I probably go back and forth with them getting wildlife calls and me getting domestic calls. And I also handle all the bear calls for Collier County. We provide excellent service, maintain efficient workforce, ensure adequate resources, and increase public understanding of the wildlife and how to interact with it. So wildlife you might encounter in Wellington, these are just some of the calls I get. We see many species of birds. Burrowing owls, you guys have plenty of them here and their nests, and if you ever witness a burrowing owl in a high traffic area, we do have these signs available to you guys. We don't recommend putting them out in non-high traffic areas just because it draws attention to them, and we'd rather them not have that much attention. But for instance, I know there's some in Aero Club that has high traffic areas with people, taking their planes up and down the strip and whatnot. So these signs are available for free if you have any of these burrowing owls in these areas. Sandhill cranes you might have issues with during nesting season. They can get a little aggressive. They do mate for life, and they do sometimes attack windows, cars, things like that because they get aggressive. And limpkins, which I told you about before, he's right outside on the dock. I get calls about them in Wellington all the time because they're obviously very loud and they can be very obnoxious. That's their mating call. But there's not much we can do about any of these because pretty much all the birds are protected federally, and if not federally, definitely they are imperiled species, a lot of them. So you might also encounter coyotes. So coyotes I've gotten quite a few calls out here. They are a non-native species, still considered. So they can be trapped if need be. We don't recommend trapping unless it's really a nuisance. And same thing goes with bobcats. Bobcats are a native species, but for the most part, they keep themselves. They have a 35-mile radius they stay within. So for the most part, they really truly keep to themselves. You might encounter snakes on trails, things like that. I have snake brochure, that's it, out there for identification of snakes. River otters might be seen frequently out in your lakes, and also bats. Bats love barrel tile roofs, and that might be a problem you have in your barns or houses. So like I said, most native birds and their nests are protected under the Federal Migratory Bird Treaty Act. Removal of any active nest requires both state and federal permits. You can go to the next one. Okay. And just some general guidelines to living and coexisting with wildlife. You want to make sure you secure all food attractants, feed, garbage, anything like that, because most wildlife human encounters I encounter are usually bears getting into garbage, coyotes getting into chickens, things like that. So it's usually something that we are doing that we can be modified to help out in those circumstances. So also secure livestock, pets in proper caging if they're being left outside, and just enjoy it when you get to see it, especially if you have wildlife encounters on the trails. Enjoy it. Take pictures if you have the opportunity, and there are really some odd creatures out there. That's it.